Delhi is a day place, but at the same time, Delhi is also a place for sunset people. All of us who have been staying in Delhi for years on end would still not know what it takes to stay awake and experience the city in its wee hours. Maybe this is what motivated me to look beyond the sunset. When nearly everybody is calling it a day, I wanted to know what lies beyond the sunlight. My first destination was India Gate, the symbol of the city. This is also one of the many places which offer people of Delhi a breathing space. And the crowd here says it all. As some come to enjoy, there are others who make a living out of others' enjoyment. This Bhelpuri vendor has been serving people for the last 20 years and says his work starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 2 a.m. My prompt question is how he manages to go back when the roads get deserted and public transport dozes off for the night. He said he goes in a shared auto that costs him 20 rupees every day. So as a group of people celebrate the night, wining and dining, a great number of others fight their sleep to make a living. But what is the police doing in the midst of it all? As Delhi has grown, so has the crime in the city. A reason why we see open spaces being heavily guarded by police. After India Gate, I got ready for my next destination. All of us know Okhla Mandi as a wholesale vegetable and fruit market. This place never sleeps, especially for those who hang out here in search of food, available till 3:30 in the morning. No, I'm not talking about the have-nots, but the happy nightbirds, the people from the media and production houses who depend on the vendors of Okhla Mandi for their dinner at 4 a.m. There are also people in this mandi who see a camera as an intrusion and ask me what I'm doing there. It is interesting to see that both raw and cooked food is sold at Okhla Mandi. As the night advances, we reach Connaught Place. I realize there are many who cannot remember when they last lived a normal life. For obvious reasons, they don't prefer to come out in broad daylight. Only after dusk does their day begin. They have no fancy designations. They are trapped between a yesterday they would rather wish away and a tomorrow they may never see. The PCR vans patrolling Delhi at night is quite a sight. I realize that night is also the time when you are feeling guilty about something and you have a confession to make. It's so easy. Just go on air and confess it to a secret friend. Your friendly neighborhood RJ.
आप हैं अपने दोस्त लवगुरु के साथ रात की इन खामोशियों में ये कहना कि उन्हें आपसे मोहब्बत होगी और उन्होंने इजहार किया है वो ऑलमोस्ट 60 इयर्स के हैं आप 25 साल की हैं उम्र पड़ी है अभी आपके लिए जस्ट गेटिंग इमोशनली कनेक्टेड एंड थिंकिंग दैट यू आर इन लव विद द जेंटलमैन यू विल बी फूलिंग योरसेल्फ एंड इफ यू ट्राई बिलीव दैट यू विल बी रूइनिंग योरसेल्फ
Who would know the night better than someone who has covered all that happens on Delhi's street at night for 15 years. Neeraj Thakur, a well-known crime reporter, tells us that his is a round-the-clock job.
क्राइम रिपोर्टर की बीट एक ऐसी बीट होती है जो 24 घंटे काम करती है. इनफैक्ट बाकी बीट्स के लोग जो हैं वो दिन में काम होता है. ओनली क्राइम बीट जो रात को 6 बजे के बाद सही मायने में शुरू होती है, और रात भर जिस तरह का क्राइम होता है वो दिन में नहीं होता है.
He tells us that Delhi's nightlife is the best time for the highbrow criminals.
पहले एक बड़ी ये कहा जाता था कि ड्रग्स जो है वो छोटे इलाकों में, झोपड़पट्टी इलाकों में बिकता है, और एक हद तक एक ज़माने में बात सही थी. लेकिन अब जो ड्रग का जो एरिया है वो फैला है. अब हाई प्रोफाइल लोग जो बड़ी बड़ी पार्टीज़ करते हैं उसमें ड्रग्स चलता है और खुलेआम चलता है, क्योंकि जो अब जिस तरह का ड्रग्स जो बाहर से आता है वो बहुत महंगा होता है, और ये बड़े लोगों का शौक बन गया है. ब्राउन शुगर, हेरोइन, ये चीज़ें इतनी महंगी होती हैं कि जो गरीब लोग हैं वो बहुत कम लोग ऐसे हैं जो उसको अफोर्ड कर पाते हैं, और जो करते हैं वो बर्बाद हो जाते हैं.
Neeraj's experience speaks volumes about the changing facets of nightlife in Delhi. After a peep into his work life, we head towards Jama Masjid. Urdu Bazaar in the Jama Masjid area is full of makeshift eateries with large 300-watt bulbs to illuminate their wares. The smell of fresh fish, fuming kebabs and fried chicken fills the air. There are sweetmeat experts too, setting up jumbo paraphernalia for jalebi and firni. Large banners outside the shops boast of chicken changezi, mutton korma, biryani, kebab, tikkas and ishtu. There's food for every taste and pocket. There's a long queue of the underprivileged outside a hotel, looking forward to a free dinner. The hotel staff begins folding big tandoori rotis with liberal doles of bada, and the first few are served. Allah provides for all. Pause a bit and look around. The first thing that strikes you is the sheer numerical count of human heads all over. Space is sacred, from the rickshaw puller to a cart pusher to the pedestrian. Everybody is crying for elbow room. Truly representative of India's 1 billion strong population. But there's a method in this madness. The traffic momentum does not stop even for 2 minutes. Raise your head from the human sea, and towering domes of Jama Masjid smile at you condescendingly. It is impossible not to feel dwarfed by the 3 awesome domes of the 17th century mosque. The bustle of life keeps the marketplace abuzz till 2 in the morning. After Jama Masjid, as we move towards Chandni Chowk, we see a group of people busy praying near Shishganj. It's the run-up to the time of Brahma Muhurat, the best for Holy Communion. There are others who don't have a shelter over their heads. Night falls only to remind them that roads are home, with the sky as the only shelter. Well-known sociologist Deepankar Gupta helps me understand this assorted nightlife culture of Delhi in particular and India in general.
Delhi's nightlife, as I think, is class segregated. You have those who are going to clubs and hotels and so forth, and there are a large number of other people who are trying to find a place to sleep at night, and that's really quite a job, because it's so difficult now, given the prices and so forth, to have a roof over your heads.
Later we move to Gurgaon. Life in Gurgaon reminds me of Mumbai. It is sleeping time for you, or you might be halfway through your sleep. But for others, the day has just begun. What you see around me is number of call centers, and adjoining these call centers are number of dhabas to take care of the midnight hunger of these call center employees. Here the roads are not deserted. Here the day begins at night. Because of rising unemployment and less number of jobs, call centers are becoming a mainstream solution today. For many young people, call center work means instant money and glamorous recess parties. The work is strenuous as calls have to be answered for 5 hours continuously without a break. Then there's a 20-minute break. Generally, a call center employee takes around 350 calls a night. We speak to Vishal out on a break. He has been in this industry for the last 6 years and says he has adjusted himself to this life and schedule.
So our schedule is like 7:30 p.m. till 5 a.m. If you give me a day shift now, it's hard to manage now for me. Now if I'm in night shift, I can manage it more easily.
Their life seems mechanical. The night gives them livelihood, but at times also leads them to deep stress and depression. Because of sleep disorders, eye fatigue, and even repetitive voice injury. This is certainly a novel feature of a globalized India. But it does make me wonder whether we are on the right track, as I see youth burning out on the fast economic track. Then there is the poor night shift worker. As urban centers devour and create space with equal ease and become denser with flyovers and junctions, we need hands to do the job. Cheap labor that will only be provided by the poorest, the most marginalized.
In Delhi, as you know, there are a large number of gated colonies. Even ordinary houses like the ones around here have high walls and so forth. There are people who keep attack dogs at home, and they have watchmen outside. So in many ways you might say there's a certain class of people lead a kind of secluded life. Secluded in the sense they're kept away from the public, as it were, and they don't really see the public all the time, and when they do, they're not very happy about it.
The construction industry has a long tradition of employing migrant labor. They also work for long hours at night, a matter of survival for them. The story is not different for this chaiwala, whose chai is a stimulant for people on night duty. His day starts at 5 p.m. and finishes at 8 a.m. He sleeps only for 4 hours. He serves tea 4 times between 1:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. These are the shadow people, the invisible ones, who slide in and out of our vision. But without them, our cities won't be. Professor Gupta tells us how Delhi has grown into a new way of life.
Delhi was planned to be the ultimate city of the colonizers, which is why Delhi, I think, is the only country in the world where a metropolis of this size has a golf course bang in the middle of it. I don't think you'll find any other city with a golf course in the middle. So that tells you how elitist Delhi was in its early conception. That tendency hasn't quite left the city.
He says that unlike other cities, Delhi does not have diversity in cuisine.
If you're looking for diversity in cuisine and of different classes and so forth, I don't think Delhi can yet match Mumbai and Kolkata in that department. In Kolkata, for example, or Bombay too, you can be fairly middle class and lower middle class, and there are a number of eating places which are fairly good, you know. And believe me, I've stayed in Bombay for a long time to know that. But in Delhi, I don't quite see that category which is established. You have many fly-by-night or, you know, stalls out in the streets which are here today, gone tomorrow, depending upon the location of the working population. There's probably a construction going on, and once it's over, then the working class, the laborers will leave, and so will this eatery.
As the night catches up, we reach Fender's Music Academy, a 24/7 musical place which also hosts live rehearsals, a practice pad for bands. We met Delhi-based band Nasha, which prefers to call its brand of music Sufi Soul. They were busy practicing for the European tour. They are not exactly full-time musicians, so they prefer practicing late at nights.
Jivi, he's my bass player, so he's the youngest in the band, and he's still, I think he just gave his third year exam.
Yeah, I'm just pursuing my graduation. Yeah, this is my third year. This is my last year.
His graduation.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah, and yeah, still doing. I don't know. The results are not out, so you can't say about that. Saurabh, who plays rhythm in the band, rhythm guitar, he plays acoustic rhythm in the band, and he's also taking care of his dad's business. Like हफ्ते में 2-1 दिन अगर आप देखें इसकी जर्नी, he's a rock star on stage, but बाकी 2 दिन ये चांदनी चौक का लाला दुकानदार है. He sits there. चावड़ी बाजार I would say. सदर बाजार वाजी क्या बात है.
Though he doesn't want to.
Drummer, and he was doing job before, but he left it. Now he's totally into music.
Plus giving some
I am the vocalist in the band, and I was into acting. I was a theatre artist. I was doing anchoring before. Was being paid very well.
Yeah.
The nearby chai wala knows them well.
If you go to this chai wala also, which is right next to here, next to this place,
Yeah.
you know,
He himself will ask you, do you want to have a Maggie?
Yeah.
He have a, like,
We guys don't smoke. We guys don't smoke, so they.
the chai wala understands that they are musicians. They might be needing something more than the chai
Chai
and
or
the fan.
something like-
So
something
he is
kind of-
catering to our needs, and that adds up to the respect that we have for him. We don't look upon him as just a chai wala. He's like that dada for us.
There are those who work in, say, in Okla, in Noida, in the TV studios. There are a couple of eateries out there on the streets, and it is quite interesting because you find studio people, not quite upper executives, but a large number of studio hands with the poor eating together. Young people are less perhaps susceptible to class distinctions.
Clearly, in the grind of nightlife, we see a Delhi that is a total stranger to us otherwise. It's not only light that makes you see things. As I discover Delhi's nightlife, I also figure out that there's less to the term happy nightbird than I want to acknowledge. The night of the city belonged to the have-nots, and they to the night.